Now, earlier this month, we told you about the race for Chicago's 15th ward. Parts of the southwest side have been carved out to include some of Back of the Yards, West Englewood, and Gage Park. Incumbent Alderman Raymond Lopez is looking for a third term after mulling over a bid for mayor. Now, he's got the backing of Willie Wilson, but faces two challengers. One of them is the founder of Voices of West Englewood, the neighborhood where she has lived her entire life. Gloria Williams joins me this morning to talk more about her campaign. Ms. Williams, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me here.
So, as I've said, you're a lifelong resident of West Englewood, but talk about the work of Voice of West Englewood, that organization, and what it does.
Voices of West Englewood is an alliance of community residents, local businesses, and stakeholders in the neighborhood. What we do, we provide solutions for critical issues that virtually affect the families and individuals in the community. So we do a lot of community engagement events in the neighborhood so people can come out and find out exactly what is going on in the community, and then keeping them updated on housing issues. We have did vacant lot sales in the community. We talked about property taxes and scavengers taxes sales that's going on in the community.
So what led you to wake up one day and say, I want to be alderman in this community?
Well, I always said I'm going to be the alderman one day. So unfortunately, it happened to be this year for me to run. I prayed about it, and God told me it's my time to run. And when I made my announcement to some of the people in the community and the surrounding community, said it's about time for you to run because we need somebody that's true down in city council who could really speak for them.
So, as you know, the city council has a lot of socialist progressives on it, and that number is growing. Alderman Lopez, the current alderman, would not fall in that category. He's more conservative. So for voters who will be deciding between the candidates in the 15th ward, where do you fall on that scale of conservative to progressive or socialist?
Well, I'm more of a progressive person, because I like addressing the issues, finding a common ground and a solution about the problem that's going on within the neighborhood.
So one of the things that you do want, and I'm not sure if this is progressive or not, but it could be, you want a mentoring program in which you would have the local youth working with adult mentors. Is that about addressing the concerns of public safety and violence and those issues? Well,
you have to connect the youth and the elderly together. That's the only way you can be able to find common ground about what is going on. Not only that, on my words.
Right.
Not only that, it allowed the younger youth to learn from the elders about previous things that's going on in the world.
So, as you know, and Alderman Lopez has talked about it when it comes to the issue of violence and public safety, that even the ward office has been vandalized a few times from folks in that area. And one of the things the alderman has said is that no one told these young people who are doing it to become gang members. He said this really isn't about racism. So I guess I have to ask you, what, if any, role does the city council, does the city need to play in addressing those issues?
Well, for me, I think that it's important that the community get involved. You have to get engaged. And what the reason for those issues that's going on among those gangs, you have to get to the root cause of it. Go and have a conversation with them and see what is the issue. Why is this going on in the community? Is there a way that we can work together so we can decrease the violence in the neighborhood? That's what I would do, because I'm not going to assume that they bad people, because they are human beings. You don't know the reason and the cause of why they reacting the way they reacting.
And living in the community your whole life as you have, what sense do you have as we sit here now as to what the root causes of that problem is? Is it about, not being in school? Is it about not having a good job? What's the source?
Well, the community been disinvested for a long time. Employment is a major issue. There's really nothing that's going on in the community that's positive for those youth to get involved in. We don't even have a community center for those individuals, those children to get involved in. It's just a lot of abandoned properties, vacant lots. What's there? You got to find something that catch their interest to get them involved, so they won't go to the other side to get involved into negative events.
And perhaps one of the problems is that I know that some of the people who live in that area have reported, even to the current alderman, that they don't even bother to call the police when there's something going on, because it just seems that nothing helps. What is your sense of what role the police should play, and is there a need to improve the relationship between the officers and the community?
I think so, and I can speak on that because I still is a beat facilitator for the 7th District Police Department. And what I did was, when I had my meetings within the district, in the beat, I asked the residents, just govern your block. Start a block club. And then you would be able just to focus just on your block about what is going on. And by me doing that, the violence went down because everybody got involved. So you have to build a relationship with the police department in order for them to work with you. Now, I do say they need to get out and walk a little bit more, patrol the community and get to know some of the residents in the community, because I know 3 weeks ago I was walking out with the police department and they was passing out those safety guns. Mm-hmm. And they got a great response because the residents were speaking to them about certain things that was happening on in the community.
All right, Gloria Williams, who's running for alderman in the 15th Ward. Thanks for being with me. Appreciate it, sharing your views with the voters who are out there. We're going to take one more break. Coming up next, a look at the week ahead and your chance to hear from the candidates for mayor. Where? Right here on WGN.